Hello, Carnegie Hall supporters. Peace. This is number 2 in my series for the vlogs for my coming recital on March 6th at Carnegie Hall in the Stern Auditorium. And I am here with Jake Heggie, the amazing thing.
Joyce DiDonato.
Oh, right. Okay. I almost forgot
Your visitor pass?
my visitor tag. There we go.
Thank you.
We are in Houston, and we have one more performance of Dead Man Walking tomorrow, which is a very emotional...
Very important performance.
Yeah, it's Friederike von Stadt's farewell.
To the opera stage, right? Amazing.
How do you feel seeing this come up again?
It's been so amazing because it's been 3.5 years since the last time I saw the piece, and in that time I've written a lot of other music, like Moby Dick and, and your songs. And so to come back to it as a piece that I wrote 10 years ago, that we did together, that I wrote for Flicka, in that role, has been, really astounding and very emotional. And I've found that your performance of it has been so infused with the spirit and the emotion and the power that I had always hoped the piece would have. And to see the audiences respond the way they have has been extraordinary.
It's been pretty special.
It's a real privilege. Yeah.
We also had Sister Helen Prejean come back for the opening, and we did
Terrence McNally.
And Terrence McNally, yes.
The great Terrence McNally.
The reason I bring up Sister Helen is because we have this world premiere song cycle coming up called The Breaking Waves. When I recorded in Madrid for my first vlog, I had just gotten your music the day before, and I hadn't even played one note of it. I'm still learning it. But what's so exciting is we're just going through it. And I would love to know a little bit about your process for this. I invited you to take part in this commission, and I think it was an easy thought for us to have Sister Helen write the texts.
Right, and initially we were thinking about, wouldn't it be great, we were talking about the Civil War and the anniversary of the Civil War, and to, what does joy mean in this period of our lives and our history in context, in light of the Civil War 100 years ago, 150 years ago. And then we sort of moved away from that. And Sister Helen, I just asked her to please give me some meditations and thoughts on things that are particularly prescient in her life right now. And she, in the light of what we had talked about, and she sent these amazing texts. And she always sends me heaps and heaps of material and says, okay, Jake, here it is, you find it. And she knows that somehow in all those texts, I'll find something that really sets my imagination going. And maybe it was because I've been so obsessed with water and darkness because of Moby Dick, but found these texts that she was meditating on about not being afraid of darkness, and that darkness is a healing place and also a peaceful place, and a place where ideas are born and where inspiration comes from. And that really...
Instead of a place of fear.
Right. Yeah. That it doesn't have to be a place of fear and dread. Because we come from darkness, we return there when we go to sleep every night. And again, ideas are conceived somehow in darkness. And so to go back to that place and really explore it. And then she also sent this amazing poem about boogie boarding, which I loved. And she told me she has posters of like surfers and surfing magazines. She's so interested in these huge waves and how we ride them to the shore. And
that's amazing.
Yeah.
But it's very Sister Helen.
But it's Sister Helen because it's so human and earthy and fun. But it's also such a great metaphor for the journeys that we go on, because she talked about how we wait and wait for what we think is going to be the perfect wave that's going to take us, to the next step, or take us to shore where we've got it all planned out, right? And then this huge wave comes along, and we can fight and struggle, or we can give into it and let it and trust that it's going to take us along. And it's such a metaphor for how her life has gone. And it certainly is. Certainly in your life you felt that. I certainly have. I think it's something we all can relate to. When something you had not expected at all suddenly overpowers you, and you just have to go with it.
Absolutely.
And it brings new meaning and direction to your life. Yeah. And so she sent those, and it was just so clear how it was going to be shaped. So
my favorite part is that it ends in joy. Because one of the things I said, we talked about this, is that we wanted something uplifting and positive, not necessarily without struggle or journey, which is the darkness and the uncertainty of life, but that it ends in light and joy. You throw in another little a cappella section in this. Where was your inspiration for that? The third song is a very personal, true story to Sister Helen, where she talks about bringing music to a man on death row. For a year, she was with him, and she didn't realize that he could have music.
Yeah.
Where
Very
did that
powerful.
come from?
I was I was living in Denton at the time, doing my residency at the University of North Texas, living with these texts and trying to find the right language for them. And out of the blue, this rhythm happened in this song, and I realized that it was an a cappella line, and it totally made sense because it is so personal. And then it blossoms in the middle. To this really joyful memory of this gift she was able to give this man who was her friend on death row, who the state murdered and put to death. And then it goes back to a very personal sort of reflection. And I didn't even realize at the time, but it's sort of the core of the whole cycle, because it's how she was able to bring joy to that person's life, and how that infuses everything that she does and thinks about. Just bringing joy to one person's life who really needs it, and how that can transform the whole world around you and your connection to the world. And so I don't know why or how it came to me. It just felt right, and I'm glad you responded to it, because
Nothing like making a singer feel naked on stage.
That's right. Well, you know the great Rosalind Russell quote: "What acting is standing on stage naked and turning very slowly."
Oh, that's really good. Yes,
right?
I was singing a cappella on the stage at Carnegie. Have you had any of your music performed at Carnegie Hall before?
Yes, I've had a few things done there. Bryn Terfel sang one of my pieces there,
Yes.
and Audra McDonald sang something of mine, and so
Is this your first commission by
Second.
Carnegie Hall? Oh, hot.
Yeah. But I'm very grateful to them and to you for thinking of it. It was such a wonderful surprise out of the blue. Great, wonderful Joyce calls me and says, I'm doing this recital, and they have room for a commission for a new piece, and I want you to do it. I mean, it's a gift that you could have given so many people, and I'm so grateful to be the one to receive it, because we have a history, and we can share something really meaningful.
Yeah.
And touching and uplifting and powerful, and then with Sister Helen's words
Well,
too.
this is the whole thing for me. It feels like it's a continuation of the journey that we've done. I've sung Deepest Desire. I've sung, which is also text by Sister Helen. I've sung her,
Dead Man Walking.
and Dead Man Walking, and there's something really lovely about continuing the journey. So thank you for this.
I'm with you.
March 6th.
March 6th.
Get your
We'll all be
tickets.
there.
I'll be there.
Oh, me too.
Woo! Ciao.